What up, YouTube? Boat Farm back for another video on this beautiful day, y'all. And as y'all know, I love growing fruit trees, but it's a couple things I wish I knew before I started growing fruit trees. If you are a beginner and just getting into growing fruit trees, you've landed on the right video. I've been growing fruit trees almost 6 years. So a lot of things I wish I know, but now you'll know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. All right, first thing I want to get into, and I fell victim to this plenty of times. Just because it says it will grow in your zone does not mean it's going to produce fruit in your zone. That just means it's not going to die in your zone. So if it's zone, I'm in zone 8B. If it says zone for 8A, it's gonna grow. It won't get killed by the cold, or it won't get too hot, whatever. But if you're trying to grow sweet cherries in Georgia, where I live at zone 8B, good luck. I'm not saying nobody in zone 8B in Georgia has ever grown sweet cherries. I'm saying I couldn't grow them. It's zoned to grow in zone 8B, but I don't know anybody in the whole city I live in, cities over here and there, that grow sweet cherries successfully. And I know a lot of people who have fruit trees and grow fruit trees in zone 8B, Georgia. It'll grow here, don't mean it will produce fruit here. Take some time to understand people who grow fruit trees around where you live at, and talk to your local extension office. Your local extension office is a good way to know what people growing where you live at. And it's free. Check out your local extension office. They will not steer you wrong majority of the time. Majority of the time. But just to sum it up, you can grow it in that zone, don't mean you're gonna get no fruit. And the whole purpose of growing fruit trees is to get what? I'm gonna let you say it first. Get what? Fruit. So if it's not fruit in your zone, don't buy it. It's not worth it. It's a bad purchase and a bad investment. All right, a very important thing to know when it comes to fruit trees, some varieties do better in certain places. Yes. For example, this is a pomegranate tree I got from a friend over here on YouTube, Juicing with Jay. I've had this pomegranate maybe 4 years. And it was small when I bought it. So what happens is every year it grows to about this height, and then the cold kill it all the way back to the roots, and then it grows back up every year. Never got a flower in 4 years. Now, a red wonderful pomegranate will grow great in California and places with a warmer climate. That doesn't mean I can't grow pomegranates. This variety ain't the best variety for me to grow, and I'm gonna show you why. Now, this is a Salvasky pomegranate. This is about, I'm 5'11", so this is about 7 foot tall. This has been in the ground for 1 year. This probably was 2 feet when I bought it. But as you can see, it's growing well. So it's not that pomegranates don't grow, it's the variety you have. Salvasky pomegranates grow beautifully for me. I probably got 4 now. But in the right spot with the backdrop of this shed, it's growing great, great. So variety and placement of fruit trees have a lot to do with whether you can grow a certain fruit tree or not. That also counts when it comes to fig trees. Where I live at, Celeste, brown turkey figs do well. Even this yellow LSU gold does well. That doesn't mean all fig trees grow well here. Chicago Hardy doesn't grow good for me. I don't know why. It's a couple fig varieties that don't grow well for me, but it's the variety. This is a Celeste. It's been in the ground 1 year. It grows well. So I'm gonna continue to get those varieties, and I'm gonna do research to find out the people around me, what they growing. Now these figs been in the ground, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and that's the biggest they getting. This is a Chicago hearted in the back. It grew up to 3 foot this year. So focus on your variety, what grows for you. Local extension office, local extension office, local extension office. They are your best friend when it comes to this type of stuff. All right, so if you're new to growing fruit trees, you might see what's called a multi-grafted fruit tree, which means it has different varieties grafted onto one one tree. It could be a Fuji apple with Golden Dorset, Granny Smith or Red Delicious, all that on one tree. Now for this price and the expertise it takes to graft limbs, it's gonna cost a lot. Probably run $120 to $145 to have 4 varieties on one tree. But what they don't tell you is, if you get an aggressive bird that bounces on that limb and break that limb, well, now you down to 3 types of apple. Now let's say you got your kids out here and they swinging on one branch and they break another one. Now you down to 2. Well, is 2 varieties of apple worth $140? No. Learn to graft and do it yourself. You can get a decent apple tree for $32. You can go online and get scion wood to graft onto these trees for little or nothing. And this is my personal opinion. I think multi-grafted trees are the biggest scam it is in the fruit tree industry. What if one of those grafts don't take and it die? You got to send it back and get your money, right? So it's just my opinion, because this is my channel. Multi-grafted fruit trees are a waste, and I see them as a scam. Now let me know what y'all think in the comments. I see you down there, because I know somebody gonna say it's a space saver. You're getting all kinds of fruit off one tree. But do reviews on these multi-grafted trees before you meet me in the comments, just to see and make sure what you're talking about. Because it's wonderful if all 4 varieties produce fruit. That's wonderful. But if one of those limbs die off and your warranty is over, it's a waste of money. All these limbs I got on here, it will make more sense for me to learn how to graft myself than spending all this money on a multi-grafted tree. Now it's probably 30 different spots I can graft and practice over the years. I'm gonna try that. I know people with apple trees, so I can get a scion from this person, a scion from this person, and we'll go from there. But I'll see you in the comments. All right, this is another big one too. Chill hours. Understanding how many chill hours where you live at get, and how many chill hours your tree need. Chill hours are defined as any time the temperatures are below 45 degrees to 32 degrees. From 32 to 45 degrees, all those are chill hours. I get probably 650 to 800 chill hours where I live at. Now this is a Honey Crisp apple, and it requires 800 to 1,000. So if I have a warm winter, I'm not gonna get no apples. Also, a pawpaw needs 400 to 1,000 chill hours, and that depends on the variety of pawpaw tree. So it's not as easy as it sounds, understanding which trees you need to get. But chill hours is one of those things. If you want fruit, you need to understand how your chill hours work. There's a couple things I grow that's, you know, maybe I don't get enough chill hours. Some years I'll probably get fruit, some years I won't. It just depends on the winter time. Also, fun fact about chill hours, fig trees need chill hours. Fig trees need about 100 to 200 hours of chill hour. So I know you worry about your figs dying back, you bringing them in the garage, but you need 100 to 200 chill hours on figs to get figs also. That's a very low number, but if you constantly putting these in the house, might not be the best thing to do because they do need chill hours too. Now, something that does not need chill hours, I repeat, does not need chill hours are citrus trees. Citrus trees require no chill hours, none, 0. But a couple cool nights could help with fruit production and the soil getting a little coolness to it instead of being hot all the time. So instead of bringing your trees inside as soon as it's 50 degrees outside, hold off to 45 degrees. 45 degrees or lower, bring them in, but let them get a little cool temperatures, and it helps ripen the fruit. So you got that. Pollinators. Now, if your tree says it's self-fertile, that's fine, it'll produce fruit. But you'll get more fruit if you pair it with another variety in the same class. Ta-Nehisi persimmon, if they say that's self-fertile, if I plant a Fuyu persimmon close to it, I'm gonna get more fruit. I use this method throughout my food forest. Every tree I got has a friend because I feel like you get a better fruit set if it has a friend with it. But different things will pollinate different things. And in saying that, this is a crab apple. Crab apple, if you got a bunch of apple trees, will pollinate a bunch of apples. Now it depends on when the apples bloom throughout the year. You got to line up the blooming for that to make sense. But a crab apple is a nice tree. And a lot of people say, well, crab apples don't taste good. I grew up eating crab apples. Crab apples are tart, but it's a good apple. So if you got one apple tree and you don't want another apple tree, get a crab apple. You can make preserves and things like that. I'm just gonna eat them raw. I like crab apple. All right, so this is a nectarine tree. Now keep in mind it's winter, so of course it don't look that good. So this is snow queen nectarine. Did you know a nectarine can pollinate a peach tree? In the same family, it can pollinate it. So if you don't want 2 peach trees like I have these gargantuan peach trees over here, you can get 1 peach tree and 1 nectarine tree. Yeah, you have more variety of fruit, and you still, if that nectarine is self-fertile, that peach says it's self-fertile, you still gonna get more fruit, but you have 2 different kinds of fruit. So keep that in mind. Also, did you know this is an apricot? I don't remember the name of the apricot. Let's see if we got the name of it. This is it just say apricot, a royal apricot. This royal apricot can be pollinated by peaches, plums, plum cots, and apricots, some variety. So if you got an apricot and you got plums and peach trees or nectarine, they can all pollinate this apricot. Or if you got a plum cot, and it's kind of the name plum cot, or plum and apricot mixed together, so of course. But it's just all in how you think about it. Pollination can happen in so many different ways. You just gotta do a little research. All right, one thing I do get questioned about all the time, I just got this fruit tree. How long before it fruit? I've had it for 5 years, it ain't fruited yet. I don't care what nobody tell you on the internet. Fruiting is not an exact science. If I get a tree and you get the exact same tree, the exact same size, that does not mean it's gonna fruit at the same time. We talked about chill hours are a big factor in that. All your conditions being right. Is it something you should be growing anyway? A lot of that goes into whether it fruits or not, or how long it takes to fruit. I got a rule of thumb though. Any tree I got over 5 to 6 years that has not fruited yet, I'm getting rid of it. Because just like people, fruit trees can be bad apples too. So if you buying a fruit tree, expecting it to fruit in 2 years, cross your fingers, water it good, mulch it, fertilizer, and you get your best results. It's still not a guarantee when it's gonna fruit. And that's especially with citrus. Most citrus fruit in 2 to 4 years or 1 to 3 years. But I got a blood orange. I think it's a Moro blood orange. I've had it for 5 years. It puts flowers on every year. I got 2 fruit this year and they fell off. Now all my other citrus that are way younger than that is fruiting. So how can you explain that? I've heard multiple people say that Moro blood orange takes a long time to produce fruit. It's just what it is. It's not an exact science. Treat it right and be patient. Patience is the biggest problem with growing fruit trees. You put that tree in the ground or in the pot and you think, man, I can't wait to taste this fruit. That's not the case. Take your time and wait. Treat that baby right and she'll treat you right. But that don't mean she'll treat you right in 1 to 3 years. I'm just saying. All right, I'm gonna throw this in with how long it takes to fruit. Fig trees fruit faster, really fast. From cuttings, takes little to no time. On average, citrus trees fruit way faster than everything else. Sweet cherries take the longest to fruit. Also with pawpaws, if you waiting on a pawpaw to fruit, goddamn, get your 401k plan together because it's gonna be a while. But be patient. We just talked about it. Patience. All right, this one that I was a victim to. Know what the fruit tastes like before you buy it. Now this is a loquat tree. I actually planted this before I ever tasted a loquat. Then I finally did taste a loquat and I loved it. But what if I didn't like the way the fruit tastes and it took 5 to 6 years to get fruit? That wouldn't be that smart. Taste the fruit before you get it. The first time I've ever tasted a fig was when I grew figs. Now I like figs. I had no idea. And figs and fig Newtons are not the same thing. I don't know what the hell a fig Newton is. But know what you're growing and know what it tastes like. Don't wait to 5 to 6 to maybe 7 years to figure out you don't like the fruit. And that's what could have happened with this loquat. But I do like the taste. It could have went the other way and I got this beautiful tree that I hate the fruit. So go to your grocery store or your local whatever farm and get some of this stuff, whether it's a picking whatever or wherever you can get fruit from, and taste it. If you like it, grow it. If you don't grow it. Now a lot of times the grocery store version of certain things don't taste the same as when you grow it. But if you like the grocery store version, you definitely gonna like what it tastes like once you're growing in your own yard. Taste trumps everything because we're growing stuff to eat it. If we don't like the way it tastes, then why the hell are we growing it? Something else, growing citrus. I did not know how much work it would take to grow things out of season. Out of zone, which means it can grow outside in zone 9 and 10, but anything below 9, you need to cover it up. Cover it up in the wintertime. So if you have warm days, you got to pull it out. You got cool days, you put it back in. If it's really cold, you cover it up. So a lot goes into that. Also, when it comes to citrus trees, when you're growing them out of zone, well, you have to grow them in containers. And if you put them in containers, all the nutrients they get are gonna be what you put in there. And citrus trees are heavy feeders. Having citrus trees out of zone is like having a newborn baby. You have to, maybe not that bad, maybe not a newborn, maybe a toddler. You know, a toddler can go to the bathroom, but you gotta watch them around the house and make sure they don't put nothing in their mouth. Citrus trees are very similar to that. So if you just growing citrus out of zone because you see your favorite YouTuber doing it, do your research. I have a papaya tree over there that shouldn't get below 40 degrees. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. It's a lot of work that goes along with citrus trees, and the more you have, the more work you have to do. Fertilizing. These citrus trees are heavy feeders. They need a lot of fertilizer, a lot of water, and a lot of care. So to the beginning citrus me, I would tell me, hey, don't get that many trees. Just get 4 or 5, a good amount that you can keep up with. We just being honest, y'all. All right, another mistake I made early on, planting citrus trees in the ground. The lowest it'll get here is maybe 1 or 2 nights of 18 degrees and everything right around 30 degrees, 28 degrees. So if the tag say, hey, it's cold hearted down to 15 degrees, oh, I can put it in the ground. That is not the truth. Now this is a brown select satsuma that I put it in the ground only because it was very, very mature. Now when they say it's cold hearted down to whatever, they're speaking about a mature fruit tree. Calamundi, cold hearted down to 20 degrees, it's still green, but it's a lot of brown. I should not have put that in the ground, but I did. That's not the only time I've done it. I've put a lot of citrus trees in the ground. This weeping dragon in the ground is cold hearted down to 0 degrees. It's doing fine, but this is a very mature tree. If it's not mature, don't put it in the ground no matter how cold-hearted it says. If it says it's cold-hearted down to 0 degrees and it's a little pencil whip, don't put it in the ground. Because it's more than just the cold that gets it. It's the freezing rain, it's the lack of sunlight, it's the say it's 30 degrees outside, but the wind has been whipping against this tree the whole night. That's a big difference. It's not that cold, but that tree still can die. Not from the temperatures, but the wind and the constant cold. A lot of these trees could make it if it's 4 or 5 hours below 25 degrees, but prolonged time below that temperature, it's probably gonna die. Silver Hill Satsuma, very thick base. I don't know what kind of graft this originally had, but it hasn't grown to the graft side. But it's mature enough to be outside. It's been outside for the last 2 years now. So that's it. But if it was any smaller, when I say small, I mean the thickness of the base, I wouldn't leave it outside or put it in the ground. Now this is a question I get a lot. Should you fertilize your fruit trees in ground? Now God made this soil here. If you think you got something better than what God made, good luck. Good luck. Now I say that, but the first 2 years in the ground for any fruit tree is probably the most critical. You want to make sure that tree grows good those first 2 years and you off to the races after that. But in saying that, after those 2 years, I don't fertilize mine. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't fertilize mine because my theory on this is if I fertilize this after these 2 years, it's encouraging those roots not to spread because all the goodness that tree need is right there. So if you fertilize it, the roots gonna stay right there because they have no reason to venture outside of that small space. But if that tree needs nutrients, those roots will seek out nutrients, meaning it'll go deeper and it'll spread wider. Now the wider the root spread, the more it can take care of a tall tree. Big roots, big trees. Small roots, small trees. You can do whatever you want with that one. Another thing nobody ever talks about is fruit drop. The first couple years, it's gonna drop fruit. Every flower doesn't mean that tree should produce fruit. That tree is only gonna produce as much fruit as it can when it's old enough and mature. If it's dropping fruit, that means eventually you're gonna get fruit. Now these, it just got too cold. It flowered late and they fell off. These are for Joas. For Joas. Pineapple guavas. Yeah. So now I know most likely it's gonna produce fruit next year. Don't worry about fruit drop, citrus trees and everything else. Flower a lot and drop a lot of flowers, drop a lot of fruit. It's just what it is. It's a part of the growing game. Don't be worried or that concerned. It drops it. It's just like if your child is 5, it shouldn't be having a baby. You shouldn't be telling them to have a baby. Let that child mature, let that tree mature, and you'll get your fruit eventually. Be patient. Patience is the name of the game. All right, so break it down. It's awesome to have fruit trees, but it's better to understand what makes your fruit tree tick. Should you grow that fruit tree, the variety, the size, how you fertilize it, all that is a big deal. I'm not discouraging anybody from growing fruit trees. I'm just telling you, if I was talking to myself when I first started buying fruit trees, these are the things I would tell myself to look out for. So fruit trees are awesome to grow, but understand what you're growing and use your local extension office. Some people can be next door to where I live at, and the same fruit tree that's thriving here could be dying over there, and we're not doing anything different. So it is what it is. No information is perfect information. Use what you can and move on. Also, like, comment, subscribe. You made it this far in the video. Why not? Why not? So hype it up if you can. And y'all, grow more fruit trees ASAP.